Hey everyone, it's Mike. I review nootropics and I talk about personal development, and during this video I'm going to talk about caffeine and L-theanine. I like it a lot. I'm taking it at least twice per day. So let this video be our guide. We're going to talk about the benefits, the proper dosage. I'll talk about my personal experience with it. We'll discuss some of the side effects, and then stay tuned to the end of the video where I'm going to rate caffeine and L-theanine out of 10. Let's get right into it. First, be sure to subscribe, and if you'd like to help me and support me, help the algorithm on YouTube by giving it a like and comment below. Let's get right into it. All right, what is caffeine and L-theanine? Well, caffeine and L-theanine is a nootropic, which is a class of supplements that people use to enhance their cognition. Now, this encompasses things like your working memory, your energy levels, your concentration, and your ability to fight fatigue. In essence, working for more hours throughout the day and more efficiently. So why this supplement is becoming so popular is because a lot of people are reporting insane levels of productivity by taking caffeine and L-theanine. Everybody knows that for the most part, caffeine can help you with alertness, with wakefulness. Although it can do some bad side effects, a lot of people do experience anxiety, a lot of people do experience brain fog or that crash, and that's where this product was formulated. It's essentially a tool that a lot of people can use in a lot of different industry in order to improve their productivity and be their best self. Let's go over the benefits. First, we'll address the benefits with respect to caffeine, and then we'll talk about L-theanine, and then the beautiful synergy which happens when you combine the two. So caffeine, of course, it's been around for a very long time. I'll take you through what's been shown on examine.com throughout all of the studies. There's been so many studies done on caffeine, and the pros, in my opinion, really do outweigh the cons, as there are not many cons. I'll get to that later in the video. So with respect to caffeine, we're talking about one of the strongest mood boosters out there, and that's the reason why it is so addicting. It can clearly allow you to have less of a logical mind, have more confidence, have more faith in yourself, and be a lot more optimistic. Other benefits of caffeine are such that you have a heightened physical and mental awareness. You're just more turned on. It's like you've added a few batteries to your system. Everything's working better. You're able to do things quicker. You're more focused, and you're just more engaged in your work. And then let's not forget body composition. There's a lot of research showing that caffeine aids fat loss, and that's been my experience as well. Caffeine is what's helped me to get abs and then maintain them, and I can definitely say that without caffeine it would have been a lot harder. It provides blood flow to your fat cells, which in essence allows them to more efficiently go to the mitochondria and be used as fuel. On top of that, if you're looking to build muscle, it's been shown that taking caffeine pre-workout is going to allow you to increase your power output, so you'll be doing more reps. Or if you're somebody that's really looking to improve your cardio, you'll find that you have an increased aerobic capacity. Getting on that treadmill or getting on that stair climber is going to be a lot more easier. All right, and some of the things people don't like about caffeine is that they experience a crash. A lot of people as well feel a little bit of anxiety, whether it's social anxiety or they're just in their head procrastinating about things. This a lot has to do with themselves, if they're introverted, extroverted, if they have ADHD or not. Caffeine can do different things to different people. For me, it took a really long time to find out what works for me. Ultimately, for me, it was a journey. I had to learn what works best, and with caffeine, I noticed for me it was taking it throughout the course of the day in smaller amounts helped me to perform much better and minimize those caffeine crashes which people have. Which leads to the next downside of caffeine is, of course, the crash. And you'll find that the more caffeine you take at once, the worse the crash is. For me, it's something like 3 hours after I have a big dose of caffeine, like 200 to 300 milligrams. I'm experiencing that crash for at least an hour where you have brain fog, you're tired, you don't want to talk to people, and it's just so, there's really no way around it. What goes up must come down. All right, let's talk about the benefits and the downsides of L-theanine independently. So L-theanine is an amino acid. It's also found in green tea. So the beauty happens when you take it free form independently of other amino acids. And what happens is you have heightened relaxation, you're more calm, you have more of a peace of mind state. But what are the downsides? Now, the downsides are that, unfortunately, you may be in a state of being a bit complacent, just apathetic, less eager to go out there and get your goals or strive for them. You don't really want to take action, you're a bit too relaxed. And that's where the magic happens. With caffeine and L-theanine, think about it. You have all the benefits of caffeine in that you're energetic, you're in a motivated state to go after your goals with heightened physical and mental awareness. And with L-theanine, you're relaxed, you're maintaining a calm peace of mind at the same time, and you're in a more resourceful state and arguably more efficient. So that's really why this supplement became so popular and is beginning just to increase in popularity. It's caffeine, it's L-theanine. You can argue that it's somewhat natural and therefore is healthy to have long term. So caffeine and L-theanine, if you were to ask what the ideal dosage is, for me in my stack, what it looks like is it looks like a dosage of 1 to 2 ratio of 1 caffeine to 2 L-theanine, meaning 100 milligrams of caffeine to 200 milligrams of L-theanine. For those of you who may be like me and are somewhat sensitive to stimulants, then you can even try 50 milligrams of caffeine with 100 milligrams of L-theanine, and it will be noticeable. Because that's what a lot of people respond differently to caffeine. Some people are fast metabolizers, some people are slower. You can obviously tweak the ratios to your liking. However, this is really what's been shown across a lot of studies and across a lot of users' reports, that this ratio of 1 to 2 really does work best. And that's the reason why the product is usually sold that way. This is from Nootropics Depot. You could look at a nice little bottle here, and one capsule pretty much just looks like that. And this is what one capsule looks like. If you were to ask me what the ideal dosage is, it really depends from person to person. It depends on your body weight. Of course, be mindful that caffeine is a stimulant. It's not to be played around with. That's why these are sold in capsules. And anything that we discuss on this channel should obviously be brought to your attention by your GP before you start implementing it in your daily regimen. Interactions, there's so many of them, and we're still learning, and I'm still learning. Like is even people who have high calcium, they should be mindful of taking vitamin D, because vitamin D can increase your calcium absorption. So of course, be safe, be responsible. You can even do things like just break apart a capsule. It's not hard at all. You just basically take the 2 tabs, right? And then you just go like that, and you just essentially can put a little bit under your tongue and see how you respond. Because is with caffeine and L-theanine, you will notice it immediately. It's not a nootropic like paracetam or aniracetam or pramiracetam that you need to be taking for 2 weeks to see the benefits from. If this is something that you don't notice benefits from the first few times taking it, then just get rid of it altogether, throw it in the garbage, because it just doesn't work for you. And that's with nootropics, everybody reacts differently, unfortunately. For those of you who are on the larger side, or people that do not respond to caffeine unless you take it in very high quantities, then for us here in Canada, it says that you should not exceed a dose of 350 to 400 milligrams, something like 4 or 5 cups of coffee. But this again depends where you take coffee, because if you go to some coffee shops, they'll have less caffeine, and if you go to some coffee shops, they'll have more caffeine, unfortunately. My experience with caffeine and L-theanine was such that I initially began taking caffeine maybe 10 or 11 years ago because I really just wanted to get in the best shape of my life, meaning I wanted to be ripped, I wanted to be under 10% body fat, and it was proven that caffeine was one of the safest and most effective thermogenics to help you lose fat while maintaining muscle mass, which is what people want to do if they aspire to have a better physique. They want to improve their muscle mass and they want to decrease their fat mass. So I was strategically using 200 to 300 milligrams of caffeine every single day in my fat loss cycle, and ultimately, of course, you notice the crash, you notice the anxiety, and I really dreaded it. And then maybe 6 or 7 years ago, caffeine and L-theanine became very popular. It was known to help you not only be productive, but to minimize that caffeine crash and just overall have a good balanced state throughout the whole day. And since then, I've been strategically using it that way, something like 2 to 3 capsules of this per day, and I don't see myself stopping. I really think that the pros outweigh the cons here. The only cons when it comes to caffeine is there's some studies showing that it can inhibit neurogenesis, and it can actually do some strange things with the hippocampus, which can in essence make you dumb. They can stop you from becoming smarter, although this is new research, and I hope that we find out more within the next few years. What I do dislike about stimulants, and why I do my best to let my viewers know to be mindful of their dosages, because they minimize your insights. If you think about it, caffeine, stimulants, they will mute your emotions to some extent. And emotions are important. Emotions, when things hurt, that's how you remember them, sometimes for the better. But when you're on caffeine, you're just in such a good mood, you're so focused all the time, it doesn't really allow you to be your normal self. And when that happens, you're less creative and you have less insights. I don't find that I'm having a lot of insights when I'm on caffeine. I'm just more analytical and focused and energized about going through my day. Overall, I would rate caffeine and L-theanine 9 out of 10. It's relatively safe, it's noticeable for most people, and it's a supplement that's unique to other nootropics in some of the benefits that it has. Other nootropics I like combining it with are the racetams, and especially the adaptogens, things like rhodiola rosea and bacopa monnieri, which I've discussed in other videos. If you found the video helpful and you want to support me, then give it a like, give it a subscribe, be sure to comment, and follow me on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. And if you want to support me, then on Patreon, you can do so too. I'll look forward to seeing you all next time. You know about modafinil. Now this video will be your guide. Firstly,